Hello everybody, welcome to the channel, or as I like to call it, the Dragon's Nest. So, as some of you might be able to notice later on in the channel, I have a bit of a thing for playing Dungeons & Dragons, so what better way to start off the channel than by playing a bit of Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter. This is the latest Dungeons & Dragons MMO produced by Cryptic Studios, the same studios that produce Star Trek Online. So, yeah, welcome. We're going to do a little bit of character creation here. This being kind of my first true series here. Most of you guys probably don't know what my playstyle is. Generally, even when playing a tabletop game, I play a bit of more of a cleric, good 90% of the time. So, whether or not I'd be playing a cleric, I don't know yet. I still have to make the decision as far as whether or not I want to be a human or something else. So we've got all of these different character options. Now, some of them you do have to pay in order to play, but the majority of the game is free to play. The whole quest line is free to play. Really, the only things you have to pay for are like special perks, like particular services or extra races. I think I haven't played a dwarf on this game yet. Probably be fitting. I'm a bit short and stocky. Off of the camera. Alright, so here we are looking at classes. So now, I'm sure some of you came to this channel kind of looking at looking for video games, and some of you are coming over onto this channel because you've seen tabletop games. This is a nice little introduction to both of them. For those of you who play video games more often, Dungeons & Dragons is a tabletop role-playing game produced by Wizards of the Coast that involves building your own character, much like an MMO, building your own character with a particular class, a particular race, and the class and race combined kind of determine what your character is capable of doing. Now, in the tabletop setting, you'd have a group of players all kind of narrating what their character does verbally, kind of verbal roleplay. And this translated well to MMOs. In fact, a lot of early MMOs were inspired by Dungeons & Dragons. World of Warcraft definitely being one of those games that were inspired by it. This particular game goes back to D&D's roots by kind of going back to those classic classes and races. So kind of just a brief description of each of these. The Trickster Rogue generally does damage, gets in, does a little bit of damage, gets out. The Cleric is generally your healer, usually the holiest of the group, as it were. Their powers are derived specifically from the gods, and that's how they do their healing. Wizards are not unlike what you would find in The Lord of the Rings. Cast a whole bunch of spells. Most of what they do is magic-oriented. Then the Ranger is kind of like your archer of the group. They're the Legolas. Warlocks are kind of interesting in that a lot of times they do a lot of damage compared to wizards, but their power source is derived from some other entity, where wizards pull it from their environment, from that arcane mystery of the world itself. Warlocks pull it from other spirits, sometimes demons, sometimes gods, sometimes any other powerful creature in between. The Paladin, like the Cleric, is a very holy kind of character. They are the holy warrior. They make an oath to their god, either, as it says, either of devotion or of protection, but regardless, they are where the Clerics are the mouths of the gods, the Paladins are the brawn. Great weapon fighter, I mean, this is I go in and I hit stuff with a giant sword. really kind of a fun class to play. I've played it before on this game. The Guardian Fighter is your shield and weapon style fighter. Dwarves in general, in really any kind of Dungeons and Dragons setting, they make great fighters. They make great paladins. Not so much great rogues. Not so much great wizards or warlocks or even rangers. They're very stocky and kind of, they're harder to move both in physicality and in frame of mind. So I probably am going to go with my usual choice, going with the cleric. So we'll go from there. So here we are, rolling a few scores. I'm not going to want the +2 strength, because the +2 strength is geared more toward fighters. Clerics are definitely more wisdom-oriented. And I've already got some pretty good scores here in terms of that. I've got a 14 Constitution, a 17 Wisdom, so that means that his powers are going to be pretty good and his health is going to be decent. Some decent charisma as well. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick with that. So here's where Cryptic really shines, is with their character customizations. Probably gonna go with the whole aged look, but basically, and you see this with their Perfect World games or even with their Star Trek Online, the sheer number of customizations you can do are absolutely astounding. This one's a little bit more limited than Star Trek Online, but that's honestly not a bad thing. I think I'm gonna go with the Blind Cleric. I kind of like it. Bushy eyebrows. Get that whole bushy thing in. There we go, I like it. I'm a bit of a fan of your typical dwarf, but here's where I get to have a little bit more fun than that. I like the whole tattooed dwarf idea. So, Neverwinter is the setting for Dungeons and Dragons for this game, at least. It really can take place in any kind of setting that your dungeon master, the person who creates the story for your game, decides that they want to set it in. In this case, the game developers decided that they would go with the classic Dungeons and Dragons setting of the Forgotten Realms, in particular the city of Neverwinter, which has so much lore involved with it, and it really does kind of lean toward being your primary setting for Dungeons and Dragons. Overall, like in general, your oops, I did not mean to do that. In general, your Dungeons and Dragons games, like if you were to just take it directly from the current set of core books, the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, so on and so forth, you're actually going to have the Forgotten Realms be your primary setting. So, as I said, this works great as both an introduction to the game itself and as kind of a good way of introducing the channel. I want to put a good focus on I want to put kind of a good focus on the overall fantasy genre in addition to the other games that I play. You guys are still going to see plenty of other games like Minecraft and Chaos Reborn, things like that, both on my channel and on And on the channel of my boyfriend, Pandora's Secret, his brother, Mr. Sir Gentlemanly Pants, and a few other channels here and there. And possibly, if you follow Nerdarchy, another great channel, especially if you're into tabletop games, go ahead, check out their channel. They do everything from filming their game sessions to even providing tips for running and playing a tabletop Dungeons & Dragons game. I'll be playing with them a few times in the future as well. So back to the game. Now, Waterdeep is the second nearest city to Neverwinter, Luskan being the first closest. But if I really want to go with the whole dwarven style, like I come from a good dwarf kingdom, probably gonna want to go with something that is really fitting. Not feeling the whole Baldur's Gate thing. Not big on corruption, personally. Lurar would work. Don't know if I'd be... Yeah, I think I like the whole worldwide adventurer thing. I picture him being kind of come up from the dwarven kingdom he's from and being just haggard and worn. He's an older guy anyway. Now, as a dwarf, why in the world would I worship Tymora? Let's go with Moradin. Yes. Hand forge the dwarves. Good way to go. Let's go with something nice and classic for a dwarven name. There we go, I like it. We'll skip over the biography. We can always roleplay that later on if they ever have any options for that. I highly doubt it. Like in Star Trek Online, your biography doesn't really factor much into the main story. There's only so much a game developer can do. So, let's begin the adventure.
Look out! Dragolet! Hey, are you alright?
Move around using the W, A, S, and D keys.
Okay, so basic controls. As if I didn't know that, I've played it before. The nice part is I don't have to do all of my own voice acting for this.
Move to Private Wilfred. Press F when
Thank
close
the
to
gods.
talk to him.
When I saw the Dracolich attack the ship, I was afraid there would be no survivors. What brings you to Neverwinter in such troubled times?
I don't know. Let's see. Best I can figure, like he said, the Dracolich attacked the ship. I didn't write a biography, so you know what? I don't remember.
Being attacked by a Dracolich and then nearly drowned is quite a shock to the system. I'm sure it will come back to you. In the meantime, you should search the beach for your gear. It's not safe here with Valinger's undead prowling around. When you finish, head up to the camp at the top of the hill. They've got a nice warm fire up there. You'll feel better once you've dried out.
Ah, thank you, I'll do that.
The quest path leads to your next objective. Press Z to
Follow
toggle
the
it on and
sparklies,
off.
follow the
Waypoints
shinies.
appear on the map to mark your quest
I want all the
objective. Press
shinies.
F to interact with
Give me
characters
the...
and objects.
Brittle chainmail vest? Brittle? Why does it have to be brittle? I want something badass.
Press I to open
Battered
your
holy
inventory.
icon? Okay, I
Double-click
can
an item to
understand that.
equip it.
Alright. I suppose I'll go with it for
Press the
now.
Alt key to toggle mouse cursor and mouse look modes.
Alright, here we go.
The quest tracker displays current quest objectives.
So I started this off at the very beginning. I have I technically have the option of skipping the tutorial. But for those of you who've never played this game, I figured I'd give you guys a nice look at what it's like to start the game as well, and it makes sense too, because I'll be able to show you guys a little bit more of who I am this way. So, who I am. Short, stocky dwarf dude who's blind in both eyes and has an epic beard. Works for me.
Good to meet you. It's good to see someone survive the attack on the ship. When you feel ready, please speak to me again. I'm afraid I need your help.
Alright, I'm ready. I didn't even leave, but I'm ready.
Although we stopped Valindra's main force, the battle is far from over. The battlefield is crawling with mindless undead who lost their masters in the fighting. To make matters worse, the enemy is raising our dead to use against us.
That's what I'd do.
Naaman is performing a ritual of Kelimvor to lay the newly dead to rest.
Oh.
That is sure to draw an attack here. I must stay and make sure Naaman finishes her ritual. Could you search the battlefield for any wounded we missed and send them here? After you finish with the wounded, go to Del McCourt's camp and tell him our situation.
Well, why do we want to put the newly dead to rest? Why can't we raise the dead? Fight fire with fire, right? Fight the undead with more undead? I like that idea.
For a lance of faith, damaging one enemy at range.
Oh, there they are.
Hover your reticle over objects and enemies to target them.
I'm going all Zeus in this. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna Zeus them all up. Oh, okay. Since you called me cleric. Did I tell you to...
Thank you.
Okay. Go away, Zamble.
I'm wounded. Thank you.
Ooh. Hi. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
No. Whee. See, if I were playing in a tabletop game, I'd probably be trying to be a cleric of undeath. Sounds like fun. One of my tabletop games, I actually do have somebody who's seeking to be a cleric of death. Hey, fellow dwarf!
Displays everything you get for leveling up. It may also offer important quests.
Astral Seal. What does that do? I'm gonna heal myself and my friends. Okay. Fellow dwarf.
We were lucky to drive Valindra's forces back. Thank you for aiding the wounded. They wouldn't have survived much longer with all the undead roving about. I'll try to get medical supplies and reinforcements to Linkletter as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we've got problems of our own here. I'm afraid I have a gruesome task for you. We've driven Valindra's main army off, but our Red Wizard allies are still harassing us with summoned undead. Private Hothedon is trying to drive them off with his archers, but they're short on ammo. Search the battlefield and scavenge some arrows from the dead, and then take them to Hothedon.
Oh, gotta love low-level Dungeons and Dragons, kinda just starting off with little mini side quests.
Allowing you or allies to
Oh
gain
look,
help from striking
more
them.
arrows. I'll collect the arrows. When do you guys want me to go through and cleanse all of the giant rats out of a basement? Aha! Is that all of them? Nope. Favorite number over there, though. 69. Ooh, what's this? Might be able to sell at least one of those. Yay, I have all the arrows. Okay. You're a rogue. You're a rogue, I can tell. I don't have to be tall to know it. Oh, well, okay. You guys sure made quick work of that.
We must drive the wizards back.
No, we must help the wizards. Raise all the dead.
Thank you for the help. The red wizards haven't been driven away, but this will at least force them to keep their heads down.
Okay.
More undead are attacking Neverwinter. They're boiling out of Castle Never and storming the Sleeping Dragon Bridge. If the bridge falls, they will enter the heart of the city, Protector's Enclave. I must stay and deal with the red wizards. Please, go to the bridge and aid the defenders. Destroy the undead soldiers near the gate to our north so it may be opened safely. Then talk to Private Wilfred. He will get you inside the city and show you the way to the bridge. Be careful, these undead are more aggressive than others you fought. Tempest grant you strength.
I'll accept a Tempest blessing. A question, what would that look like? Undead boiling over. I mean, are they on fire? Undead on fire? Well, that just sounds like a recipe for disaster. Do I have anything new? Nope, just the gold brooch. Which I'm probably just gonna sell. Hello, undead soldier. I probably used that a little too fast.
Use Sunburst and unleash a blast of radiant energy around you.
Aha! Let's see how many of these guys I can get around me. Okay, I need you two. And I need one of you. Ah. That worked. Epic dwarf. Hey, die. Oh, it's this guy again.
Hello again. You're looking a good deal fiercer than when you washed up on the beach. Told you drying out by the fire would do you good. My mother always says, warm clothes make for a warm heart. You've thinned out the skeletons enough that we should be able to slip through the gate safely.
Just warm clothes?
Linklater gave me some healing potions
well, that
for
explains
you.
a lot.
You may need them on the bridge.
Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. Ah!
Left click on a visible location to travel to it.
I think we're going to the bridge. Let's go to the bridge.
They're in trouble! We must go to their aid!
Why? Clearly they got themselves into that scrap of trouble, haven't they? Oh, fine.
Double tap any direction to dodge away from enemy attacks.
Oh, that was interesting.
You cannot dodge when your stamina is low.
Hi, guys.
They just keep coming!
I'm so used to playing a rogue on this game. The rogue, it's nice because you can just get like right into the thick of battle and you just like murder everything. Nice part is I heal pretty quickly as a player.
What in
Well,
the
that thing's
nine hells
interesting.
is that?
Yay, level up in the middle of combat. Hi guys.
Activate your daily power when your action points are full.
Alright. So I'm out of time, but we'll be back in a later episode. I hope you enjoyed. I mean, I know this was a bit of a kind of a slow start to a game, to a series, but you know, it's kind of what's going to happen if you have to still do character creation. When I do my tabletop games, I probably will never ever film the character creation process because that just takes too long. So that said, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time on Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter.